Playing as Samus. I would play her probably like 4th, 5th. She was fun to play as just because of all the weapons and whatnot. But I cannot say that I ever got good with her.
Yeah, I mean, she's a lot of timing I've experienced, I feel like, and that was I'm reactive in Super Smash Brothers. Samus takes a lot of like planning, like, not necessarily like you don't have to plan like recharging your stuff, but like kind of predicting where someone's going to go to, and that's something that that's something that I'm not as skilled at in Super Smash Brothers. I'm definitely the type where like I like big hits, I like sweep attacks, I like that type of play. So I was always had trouble against her and getting good with her.
Young Junk! Listen, you jerk. This Smash Brothers character is a girl?
Listen, you jerk. All I know about Samus is from Super Smash Brothers.
Hey everybody, welcome to Listen You Jerk, the show where we're going through all the Smash Brothers character, and the one that is all the way to the right, not including secret characters, on the original Smash Brothers 64 is Samus Aran. So we're going to talk about who she is, what she does, what it's like to play as her, and I know you often had to play against her.
I did. My brother was a Samus main back in the day, and he was pretty good, so it was always very irritating.
So first things first, who is Samus? Samus is the hero of Metroid, and also I was kind of shocked that she was in the original Smash Brothers roster.
I had never heard of her. I literally only know. I mean, now I have, but sure. My first interaction and or learning of Samus was Super Smash Brothers, and I did not know that she was in Metroid for, I would say, probably till Brawl.
Yes. Oh, wow. That is a long time.
Yeah.
So you never played Super Metroid?
No.
Super Metroid is arguably one of the best games ever made.
Fair.
I would stand by that even to this day. It is incredible what they were able to pull off. So a lot of people were exposed to Super Metroid. I have to believe I rented it once because I have a vague memory of playing it. But the thing about the Metroid series is that it started on the NES with a game simply titled Metroid that was very obviously inspired by Ridley Scott's Alien. The eggs, the interesting creatures, the ominous tones, the way that there's not exactly music in the game, there's just sounds. And in fact, there's an interesting story about the composer of Metroid that he was he made a deal with Nintendo of like, I want to do all the sound. Like, I don't want to just do music, I want to do all the sound. So he made like the environment itself be the music, but that's for another podcast. Point is, that's where Samus came from. Samus was in a Nintendo game, Metroid, then Metroid 2, which came out on Game Boy, then Metroid 3, which is Super Metroid, Super Nintendo. Those are the only games that had come out by the time Super Smash Brothers came in. So she'd only been in 3 games. And a lot of these characters had been in more. I guess maybe. So anyway, I was surprised to see her, but I'm glad she's there. She's been a mainstay since the beginning. Awesome fighter. The big thing about this character that I alluded to in the intro is it's a lady. This was a bait and switch character that Nintendo developed because it's a person in a mech suit going through shooting little, not lemons, because that's Ego Raptor's classic thing. You kids on the internet don't know what I'm talking about. But shot little pellets and had a charge shot, could be upgraded systematically, but it was all the suit being upgraded. It's just someone in there. And the big reveal is at the end of the game, if you finish it in time, you get to see a sexy lady in a bikini, which is all any of us wanted in the 80s. But for a lot of people, it's like, oh, this whole game as a girl? Damn.
I'm sure that sticks to this day as well.
Yeah. But well, yeah, probably more than not. But that was kind of the big conceit. And the thing is, everybody should have seen that coming because I think she's based on Ridley from the Alien series.
I can definitely see that.
Oh my God, I'm blanking on the name. Sigourney Weaver. Mm-hmm. Sigourney Weaver's character in the original Alien. I mean, I think it's inspired by that. Now I think people would say, oh, that's sexist of if you finish the game fast enough, she's wearing less clothing. Because if you just finish the game slow, it's just the suit. So you don't even know that there's a girl under there. But if you finish it a little faster, the helmet comes off and you get the hair. And a little faster, you get down to like a bikini. Now, it's an 8-bit bikini, so it's very sexy. Not safe for work. Do not pull up pictures of 8-bit bikini Samus while you're in the office, Dylan. But later on, this was well known, and she's Samus, and she's awesome. And I also think this was a good example of, the video gamer community embracing a female character, just like we did with Tomb Raider as well.
Right.
Because it was just, this is what it is. Here you go. And she was in a mech suit, and she had really cool powers.
Right.
So that's kind of everything she said. Many other games. I mean, if you haven't played Metroid Dread, you're out of your mind. It's one of the best games on Switch ever. It is so fun and so exciting. And now they've kind of incorporated her female scream in it when she dies, which is also pretty intense. And she has like a rage form. It's crazy. It's a crazy, crazy series of games where the lore is a lot of fun. You fight against like Mother Brain, and there's Metroids and stuff, but one of those Metroids is your baby because you love each other, and then you become part Metroid, and then it turns out you're part Chozo as well.
I feel
you're
like
not even human.
I feel like you're spoiling right now for me a little bit.
You think so?
Yeah, what if I go back and play it,
You won't.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But that's who Samus is. Samus is a bounty hunter. That's the last big thing to say.
Yeah.
She's kind of an anti-hero. She is a bounty hunter, and she goes out and wipes out space pirates. That's her in a nutshell.
Right.
And the thing she's most known for is that cannon on her arm, and that she can do a big old charge shot.
Which is the bane of my existence growing up.
Yeah, let's talk about her move set.
Yeah.
So go ahead and walk me through.
Move set, a lot of grappling, long range stuff. That was something that the grappling itself was something that always bothered me playing against her, but I also loved using was that grab and then that quick little spike that she would do.
Similar to a hook shot.
Yeah, very similar to the hook shot. And then that charge shot, you could load that up and hold on to it, and you could shoot it pretty much at any point you wanted to. And that would, especially as a Kirby main floating around, like that would always get me, like, because Samus she was pretty nimble, and she could get up there and just fire off a blast that covered up the top section of the map.
Yeah.
If I'm flying around, I'm done. I'd have to break out of that basically.
Yeah, basically your B button, similar to Donkey Kong, was a charge shot.
Right.
Except it had distance.
Right. And you could again with the Donkey Kong, you could store it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it would store. That's right.
Right.
So basically, any Samus player, as soon as the mission starts, they hit B and the charge comes, so they're just hanging with it.
If you know what you're doing with Samus, of course.
Yeah.
Some people didn't. Then you knew you won.
The grappling hook is her throw, or her ZR move.
Yes.
For us old N64 guys,
unfortunately.
And then her B down. What was her B down? Bombs.
Yeah. Yeah.
B down was like the space bombs thing, right. And I think it gave you a little float, like in the game.
It did. Yeah, it would boost you up a little bit, and then it would just kind of like plop off.
And then I have no earthly clue what her B right move was.
I think it was that sort of like that flamey thing, like she would like sort of uppercut. Am I right about that?
I don't know. That sounds a lot like Ken Masters, but I'll take it. I don't remember. Oh no, it was. We're so stupid. Samus is also known for shooting missiles. It's a missile.
Yeah.
And I believe you can charge that, not charge it, but you can like smash move it, and it'll send a super missile instead of a regular missile.
Right.
But the regular missiles, I don't know if the regular missiles are homing. I hope they are. Anyway, B up.
I don't know. I just remember getting blown up all the time by Samus. I refuse. That was one of those characters where I refused to use her because I would just get my ass kicked by her so much, which probably in retrospect was a bad idea, but should have learned her a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I think her most devastating thing for like when you're playing against her is B up, which is her screw attack.
Yeah.
Which is, she wraps in a little ball and is kind of like covered in energy and just up through the air.
Right.
Which is a verb.
Right.
I got the other day by Samus.
Right. Right. It's in the dictionary.
Yeah. It is. She's also quick, and
Definitely.
her jumps are floaty.
Right.
Not as floaty as some characters that'll be on here, but like she's in a spacesuit and it applies. What do you wish Samus could do?
Honestly, less. I wish she could do less. Because like I said, I never used her. I was always playing against her. So the people that were good growing up at Smash, my brother, I had a couple friends that did it, but those were the people that used Samus. So for me, it was always like, crap, I'm like having trouble beating her.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's much better. I think she got nerfed a little bit in the newer games. So maybe I got what I wished for, but I don't know if I would necessarily want anything different out of her. I would have a better answer if I had played her games, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that is a really good point. I think she has like a big old Kamehameha beam is her super, right?
Oh, you're talking about in the new one?
Yeah. When you
Yeah.
can get like super abilities,
Yeah.
smash powers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think yeah.
But it's like
Ultimate ability.
is that what it's called?
Yeah, because it's the newest game of Super Smash Ultimate.
I mean, it would be cool if you could do. I mean, they jammed a lot in there, but she has this move. She has two moves that would be interesting for our segment. I wish they put this in Smash Brothers. I wish that they. I wish she has a move in Super Metroid. I remember seeing it for the first time. Eventually, you get this suit where if you stand still and do nothing, she'll just start regenerating energy. So I think that would be pretty cool if she could just recover energy. And I wonder if she
That
can
would be useful.
but where if you just stay totally still, you can recover. The other thing she has is she has like, I think it's called a space jump or something, where she can go hyper fast in a direction. A lot of speedrunners use this in Super Metroid, especially. You can see like she gets this like energy. If you ever played a game like I can't remember the game, but you're a bug. It's this long Metroidvania.
Okay.
Where you're a bug, like the move is kind of in there as well. But it's like a thing where you charge up. If there's nothing obstructing you, you'll just go to the end of time. So something like that would be good to like get back on the stage as like an oh shit. But if you don't hit anything,
Right.
you'll just fly off the other side, which I think is the way you make it fair.
That's definitely interesting. I like that idea.
And then just give me the ship. Get the whole ship in there. Let's,
Right.
But we have another character that does that, who I particularly like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Playing as Samus. I would play her probably like 4th, 5th. She was fun to play as just because of all the weapons and whatnot. But I cannot say that I ever got good with her.
Yeah, I mean she's a lot of timing I've experienced, I feel like, and that was I'm reactive in Super Smash Brothers. Samus takes a lot of like planning, like, not necessarily like you don't have to plan like recharging your stuff, but like kind of predicting where someone's going to go to, and that's something that that's something that I'm not as skilled at in Super Smash Brothers. I'm definitely the type where like I like big hits, I like sweep attacks, I like that type of play. So I was always had trouble against her and getting good with her.
Yeah, I think the fun thing to do with her is to use her special attacks. But in Smash Brothers, I don't really believe in the special attacks as your primary. I think your smash attacks and getting good with the A button and dodging is really how you win this game.
Yeah. Right.
But there's something nice about shooting a giant ball across the screen.
Also true. And it definitely works. Like,
however, it's one of the big things that everyone is trying to reflect.
Right.
So if you have a reflector of some kind, you always try and use it on that. And it feels so good.
Right.
When you get to land that.
Right. But, being a Samus player also for me, I'm usually fighting someone else when I get hit with that massive ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the charged ball coming out of nowhere. That's the worst feeling in Smash Brothers, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Where you're like having a good fight, you're dodging, and all of a sudden you just get blasted because happen to be the one on that side.
Yeah.
Like it's just that it's double-edged sword. I'll say that.
So let's get into the meat of the episode, which is you are used to playing against Samus.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. When did your brother start maining Samus?
He's always been Samus. It's just he's the type of fight. He's that timing type of person. Like he'll be the one to let you kind of like fight with a bunch of people off to the side, and he'll just kind of like sit there and be like, I'll let him get to 80, 90%, and then I'll go fight him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's good with that. So Samus always worked for him, and we always had very close fights with Samus and Kirby myself. So I think he's always been Samus from what I can remember.
How does he play her? Is he all about specials and stuff? Or
no, he definitely uses the charge attack and throws to his advantage. He's less like a bot. Like he's not gonna sit there and like A and dodge and stuff. But he's gonna be peppering you with the special moves. Like he's a big fan of dropping that. He'll like just bounce off and drop that bomb on you for no reason and come back. Like he'll just ply you with the explosives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I seem to be playing against her, she juggles a lot.
She's definitely good at juggling,
and
especially
it's like this flamethrower thing.
Yeah,
right?
That's what I was getting to earlier. That like it's almost like it's kind of like she's shooting like it looks like gunfire, but it's fire. I don't really know exactly what it is, but she just like sprays it off that way and it bounces you off like pretty high in a way.
Yeah.
And then you can drop a bomb and you land on the bomb. Like you can do a lot of different things.
Yeah, the thing about playing against her is you don't want to get caught off to the side where you're trying to get back on with a character who can't really move.
Right.
Because if you throw a dodge in there, it kills your second jump and you'll just die.
Right.
You know, what I would always do as a Fox main is try my best to get a reflector in, send it back, and then jump my way back to safety. And, you know, it works, but there's, like you said, there's really nothing worse than seeing that giant ball of energy coming at you while you're really, really far away.
Yeah.
And knowing they timed it right.
Right. Or it's like, hey, like unless like for me as Kirby, it's like, you know, specifically, and this would always be the one that would get me, if I'm floating up in the air and there's nothing underneath me that I can brick to. So like if I'm like, you know, Donkey Kong's Island, that level, like when I'm off the side a little bit, like I see that coming. The only way for me to beat that is to hit the brick or to hit the A button, the drop A, where that's another slam. The only way I can get away from that fast enough. If there's nothing on the ground, I'm dead.
You're talking about the
no, like the feet. Hey, yeah, and then the blue like sword that he.
Oh, that's
out.
B up.
Is it? No.
Yeah, the cutter.
No, that's down.
No, the cutter is you hit B up and he goes up.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Hold on, you're supposed to be the Kirby guy.
You're right.
Yeah, I've played against Kirby more times than I can count. Oh, you know what? I've played against Samus a lot too because my buddy Chris was Samus was his second. Mario was always my second, so I would always do a Mario versus Samus. So in the original, that was much harder battle than in Melee, where Mario got a reflector. By the way, we screwed up in the Mario episode. He eventually, that spinning move goes away because he gets Flood. And he gets the Flood backpack from Super Mario Sunshine. And he can shoot water. I totally forgot about that move.
I don't know that I ever knew that. I don't remember the last time I played Mario. So maybe that's newer than I've played against.
Yeah, he had Flood. And I totally forgot about it. And I had a realization when we were doing like a different episode. I was like, oh my God, that's right. It either replaced the reflector or it replaced the down B. I'll have to, the comments will let us know.
Right.
Which one. Thank you, by the way, comments. This has been a lot of fun kind of chatting with you guys and finding other Smash Brothers nerds out there. Finding other Smash Brothers.
Right.
That's what I should have said.
Yeah.
Smash Bros.
Yeah. Smash Bros. Brothers.
Smash Bros. Smash Brothers Bros.
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's definitely what we are. Last thing, let's talk about her stages. Came out of the gate with some great stages. And then later on, we would go to like Kraid's World, I believe was introduced later. But the original stage is the one with the lava that comes up and down, right?
Yeah. That's another annoying fast. Like for me, as someone that played against her, it's everything about her was just annoying. Like I couldn't do anything about it. Like that, you could play the best Smash game in your life. That lava's still gonna knock you if you took too many hits. Yeah,
and then when you go to Kraid's World, Kraid's there, who is this giant beast that's been there since the very first game. Ridley is the other one who eventually becomes a playable character. Kraid won't because he's just too big of a thing. So they made him like part of the background, and I think he's the one who'll hit the stage, and the stage will start to flip. And if you don't have someone, you were fine because you were Kirby, but if you don't have someone with flight or floaty abilities,
right,
it can be pretty difficult. I can't imagine some of those stages with somebody like Ness, where you have to nail that lightning move.
I'll never understand how people hit that. Every time I try it, I can't do that.
One of our commenters is a Ness fan, so I'd like to hear their thoughts on it, because Ness just seems so hard. My buddy Chris, again, he would use Ness as well, like the third.
Every time I do it, I look like an idiot. Like I'm just circling myself.
Yeah, and then I miss. And then I miss.
All right, see you later.
I just love the idea of like, I'm going to electrocute a child so that I can live.
Well, he's going to electrocute himself.
Well, same thing.
Right.
No, I, the player, am electrocuting a child.
Right.
A young boy.
Right.
Did Lucas have the same moveset?
I think it was very similar.
Except he had a stick.
Yeah, and he didn't, and there was something else that wasn't that like controllable electric thing, because that's why I didn't like Ness, was because I could never use that. And
yeah,
I remember I used Lucas, and I think it was I don't remember what that change was, but it was something I liked.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Importance to Smash Bros is our last question. Very important to Smash Brothers because there's not another like space. Well, actually, that's a lie. There is another space character, but this is the original charge shot character to Smash Brothers. Nobody else could do a long range charge shot, which added a new mechanic and made the outskirts, when you're desperately trying to get back on, which is the mechanic of Smash Brothers, if you get knocked off, you die. This is the first character that could really affect you way out there, and just completely end you fast. So very important to Smash Brothers. I can see why they put her in. They were probably looking for someone who fit a fighting mechanic type. But ultimately, she is a Nintendo creation. I believe Retro Studios works on her games now, but that's owned by Nintendo. But I get it. It's also a female character,
right? I think
she was the first female character.
I think yeah. In
the original lineup.
I mean, in the original Smash lineup,
the 64 one.
Yeah, because Peach and Daisy didn't make it until later. Correct?
Yeah, Peach doesn't come till Melee.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. Also filled the role,
perfect,
which is great. So very important to Smash Brothers. Very important to your life because you've spent many nights crying over losing and many nights smiling over winning.
Yeah,
right.
Well, less crying, more breaking controllers. I've broken a few controllers over Samus. I'll say that.
I've broken a few controllers over. Seems like she broke up with you.
That and Unileska in Final Fantasy X. Dear Lord, those two.
Samus, super important to Smash Brothers. Mainstay will always be there. Great game series. I highly recommend jumping in, but just start with Super Metroid. The original ones, it's a bit too much. It's too far now. Like just they did a Metroid 2 remake that is awesome. There's actually two of those. There's one that was made in secret by just one guy, one developer remade Metroid 2 in the style of Super Metroid. It's called ASMR. I think it's called ASMR.
ASMR, like the internet noise porn.
Yes, it's like another Super Metroid 2. It's something like that. Anyway, there's that one, and then Nintendo themselves released a Metroid 2 update that has just a lot of what's the word for it makes it easier to play? Like there's like a function where they add like ease of player function or something like that. There's an actual word. Tell us what it is. But the original Metroid could probably use that to be a more fun game. And then playing a whole Metroid on a Game Boy, like green screen Game Boy, would be hard. Even a Super Game Boy would be hard. But jump in with Super Metroid, play the rest of them. They're excellent games. Metroid Primes we didn't even get to. That's who this Samus, I think, is. No, Metroid Prime wasn't out yet. So the Samus that's in 64 is definitely based on Super Metroid. So start there. Have fun. Next up on this, we are going to be talking about a certain dinosaur that it can be green, can be pink, can be blue, can be all sorts of colors. We're talking about Yoshi. See you next time on Listen You Jerk. Young John!